you know about this legacy? Wednesday night, tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Mel and PIP's in on this legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night, tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.
What's going on, peeps? Oh, my goodness. I hope everybody has had a great Taco Tuesday, all that good stuff like that. We know we've had a lot of NFL going on and high school football, but I'm going to tell you, tonight is a special, special show. It's Legacy. Y'all already know. Y'all heard the beat. Y'all heard the Legacy intro, all that good stuff. But this right here is very, very special. 1975. Do you remember the state champion, Mel Bulldog? So you know the legacy is about Mel. I'm on here. Got special guests with me tonight and also a special co-host on here too. But before we get there, I want to let you guys know real quick. This is where you're going to find Mark and Will at Mark and Will Show. Everything pretty much. Twitter/X, Facebook, TikTok. You don't stop. Instagram, YouTube, Mark and Will Gaming on Facebook, Twitch, everything. Hey, also the Players Club group. Make sure you get over there, right? Go to the Mark and Will Facebook page. Go to the group. We got some polls out there. We got some players that we're going to announce the winners tomorrow, right? So that means Kentucky High School Offense and Defensive Players of the Week. You got to go ahead and vote for those kiddos. Even if you don't have anybody on there, please check your time, look at it. They deserve the recognition. Also, I want to say this. Let me go ahead and knock this out because I know that we continue to grow and we got a lot of people trying to see what's going on and trying to follow Mark and Will Show and all this kind of stuff, right? But I'm going to tell you, as far as these polls, if the school does not have the stats out by 4 p.m. on Sunday, most likely the kiddo is not getting on there. The team has to win. We have to have the stats. You can nominate. Doesn't mean they automatically going to be on the polls because it's up to our discretion what we want to do. It's got to be eye-popping to us. So we got a lot of people, they don't know. They're new. So I just want to let you guys know. Not trying to be an ass or anything, but if the stats is not there or if you did not nominate, with some legitimate stats, that kid's not getting on there. If the team lose and the kid had 1,000 yards rushing, that kid's not getting on here. I'm sorry, I'm old school. That's just how it goes. But make sure you support that. Also, make sure you support the Mark and Will Show. Bigger and better things. You already know what we're doing. Make sure you follow us. Like, share tonight. Share this because this is a special show. Make sure you share this, share all the stuff we do. But without further ado, let's go on and get into this. Tonight, we got Walter Sweet Jones, Mel High School 1975 Kentucky High School basketball, boys basketball state champion. And we got the mayor. The mayor's on here. He changes his name for everything. It's, if you don't know me by now, you don't know me. How you doing, Sweet Jones? What's going on?
I'm doing just fine.
Yes, sir.
And if my couch ready to go.
You ready to go? I know you are because I'm gonna tell you something. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree because the mayor. If y'all don't know now, Sweet Jones is the mayor's father, and we can ready to see how it rocks and rolls today. So let's go on and get it started. Sweet Jones, you know what? And it's so funny because everything went Mr. Walter Jones. Say Mr. Jones. I want to say that. So if you catch me like that, that's just how I was raised. But I want to ask you, how old were you when you first started playing sports?
Organized sports, I started playing at 7. I was 7 years at Basham Manor Elementary, which is now Butcher, the bad school, but it was a brand new elementary then. Yeah.
What?
Oh, wow.
Look, knock me out of the park already. They
Right.
With that. What sports did you play?
I played football. Played flag football at Basham Manor, and uh, I played quarterback because in flag football, it pretty much wasn't no passing involved.
Hmm.
You know, kids 7 years old, you give them the ball, you tell them, like Bobby Bowden said about what the player name that he had, that all-star quarterback he had. He said, uh, give him the ball and just say sick him. That's how it was. That's how it was. So they gave me
Right.
the ball and said sick him, and couldn't nobody touch it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. If you guys don't know, make sure you check out that 1975 game as far as championship game and any games you got to. Uh, Mr. Jones is lightning quick. This I'm just going to put it out there, lightning quick. So you did flag football, and you said Basham. So what middle school did that? Was that up to middle school, or as far as Basham Manor?
back
Did it,
back then we went to elementary. It was like you went to the sixth grade.
okay, okay. So what middle school did you go to?
I went to Parkland. I went to Western Junior High. That was my reasoning for going to Male because of the history of Western Junior High. A couple stars from Male went to Western. G. Gordon and uh, Paul Ward, and I when I got transferred downtown with my mother, we moved downtown.
Hmm.
I said the only school that I love Central and I love Shawnee. Almost went to Shawnee,
Hmm.
but the only school that I thought was more comparable to Seneca was Male,
Right,
and because of the history.
right. Real
So
quick,
so
real.
so
Go
was
ahead.
Seneca your first choice or was it Mill?
If I had stayed in the county, Seneca would have been my first choice. We didn't have busing back then, baby. You couldn't go, wasn't no busing. So you couldn't go, they didn't have us riding all over. You went to your area schools, schools in your area. So you had to have a special transfer. And my family was from the country. They was from Alabama, and they wasn't about to drive me all the way back out to Newburgh every day out to Heights Lane somewhere, for no school.
Right,
So
right.
you go to the closest one you could go to. And like I
So how
said, Mel was there.
so how did you feel? Because I know you know what I'm saying we had a little talk before, but how did you feel about not going to Seneca? Because didn't you want to go to Seneca first?
Yes, yes, very much so. I mean, my heart was broken. I mean, because half of the stars at Seneca was out of New Edition, which is called West Mutual right now. But we call it the New Edition. They called it the New Edition because what they did, Mr. Bashford plowed out half his cornfield and sold plots of lands to immigrants coming from the South.
Hmm.
So every street, if you know where Newburgh Road is, and you see that old where the police uh, station is over where they work on the police cars, that
Yes.
was Smith's. That was Smith's transfer company. It was a trucking company first, and every street ended going into the cornfield. you know, it was dead in it was dead in streets, and all of them ended going into the cornfields. So to get over to Basham Mount Lane, you either go through the cornfield or you better get in a car. Well, of course, being a kid, I went through that cornfield a few times. I'm telling you, cornfields don't be want to go walk in no cornfield. But if I had to go to practice and I get late, when I was in Basham Manor and come home late and I come through that cornfield and my mama, she'd have a fit. Boy, you don't know what's in that cornfield. But
Right.
but it was cynical because it was just, I mean, it was all the stars lived on. It was like 4th Street, uh, Bashford, Marvin, which that's the street I lived on, Ether, and Piper. And those were the 4 streets before you got to the railroad tracks. And when you got to the railroad tracks, when you crossed over the railroad tracks, you was in Petersburg,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
and that's where the mayor lives right there. That was Broadmoor, and so
Don't be telling.
Look. Hey, 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 hey,
you
Mr.
still
Jones.
bougie.
Look, Mr. Jones. You better not give out that address. He got some people. They don't like who he picks on the show. So he better not give them that address.
Oh
I ain't gonna give him
snap!
the address. He, he ain't nowhere near the cornfield.
Okay. So check it check this out. Sweet Jones. What is if you, what is some of your what is one youth league memory that stands out to you?
Youth league. I, I I scored 5 touchdowns in a flag football game after one of my friends, a little older than me, was going to Seneca, and he told the head coach, Coach Kane, that he needed to come over and see me. And on Saturday morning, I this man just coached a football game Friday night, and he told Bimbo, I'm gonna come over and see him. He had been bugging him forever to come see me, and when he came to see me, and everybody the flag football game because we played it at Seneca School. It
Hmm.
was the games were being played at Seneca, and when he got there, all the attention went to him as like Bill Belichick or somebody because he had won championships in Central. So it was like everybody stopped watching flag football and just can I get your autograph?
Right.
Coach Kane and and then when he got through talking to everybody, he walked over to me and people still watching him. And he walked over to me and leaned down and told me, "You put that take that flag off, and I want to see you in some shoulder pads, and I'm gonna give Henry all the information, and they'll take care of you because I'm gonna send you over there, and you don't have to buy nothing." And man, I was so ecstatic. I'm like, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. Pissed. I wasn't. I wasn't at the time. I was 8 years old. I had already played 1 year in flag. I was 8 years old, second
Right.
year, and then I found out 2 weeks later we were moving to the city,
Right.
and you know, and being my family from Alabama and living out there in the rural area. And when I say rural area back then, it was rural area.
Right.
It wasn't no county. It was with chicken, pigs, cows, and horses and all that.
Right.
And outdoor plumbing. Some didn't, some did.
Right.
But it was like I don't care. I don't want to go. I don't want to go downtown. But you got to do what your parents say. And that was heartbreaking. Right there. But you never know when one blessing you think you what God does for you is
Right.
amazing,
Right.
always.
Right.
And he took me out of a kind of bad situation by living in those in that environment.
Yes.
And when he brought me downtown, it was about the environment.
Hmm.
And then he placed me with we moved to Portland, which wasn't
Okay.
a great environment. In
Right.
the '60s, you can imagine. We'll leave that alone. But then, we went to Portland, and it's like anywhere else. If you can play sports and you're known for playing sports,
Right.
people leave you alone. People leave you alone.
Right.
That's any inner city in America. You know, dope dealers, gangsters, pimps, players, whatever. They know you play sports. They give you the respect. Give you a chance to,
Right.
just do what you do. And so when I got downtown, they seen, I could play football, I could box.
Hmm.
Oh, I had hands. I could box,
Hmm.
and and, and but here's the thing: my basketball game was doo doo
I was going to ask you when did you get involved in basketball?
because it wasn't. They didn't play football enough.
Okay.
We played at this park and that park, and we played salt pepper games against white against black, and we had to get together football games. But it was always somebody on the basketball court. No matter what, if we playing football, there's still 50 people on the basketball court.
Right.
So I realized that you better get your basketball game together. I could dribble, and I was fast as lightning. So uh, my fifth grade year, I went at Roosevelt Elementary. Uh, I kind of started working on my game, and over the summer, I got better. And then my sixth grade year, you know, I got a little shot together, and then this older
Mhm.
guy that taught me a couple of moves with my speed. So when I got on the sixth grade going summertime going to the seventh, they uh my game was tight. You know,
You
I,
was ready.
yeah, I mean, I'm talking when I say serious basketball, when I say grown men betting hundreds of dollars on
Yes.
basketball, you know, uh, Russell against Port against what they didn't call it Rose, we didn't call it Portland, we called it Roosevelt.
Hmm.
Russell against Roosevelt, East End, Jackson against whoever, big time boys come from all different areas. Excuse me, and the big boys, they had the court on Saturdays and Sundays,
Right.
but I in the sixth grade, going to the seventh. I wasn't in the seventh. I'm headed to the seventh.
Hmm.
My game got so tight that the big boy said, "We gonna uh, rookie." They called me rookie. They named me rookie because it was one guy that I always when my game got tight. He said, "Yeah, you're pretty good, but you're still a rookie. You're still a rookie. You're still a rookie." He just kept pounding at him. He elbowed me, knocked me down. I get up, and because I played defense, I get up and turn back into him. He said, "You're still a rookie. You're still a rookie." So one day we was playing against a team from Russell, and we was tearing them up, and he hollered, "You still a rookie. You still a rookie." And one of my guys that was playing with us in the Roosevelt team, he said, "He might be a rookie, but GD, he's rookie of the year."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
That was my first real nickname, rookie. And there's still guys today that know me from Portland that still call me rookie.
Wow, wow. So
So
go
when did
ahead.
you get sweet? So when did you get sweet?
Oh man, that's the story. Step back and hold your hat. That's the story. I was playing JV basketball. Like I said, I think I couldn't come in till after cross country was over with. By the way, I won the LIT that year. My freshman year, my sophomore year at Mel, I won the JV LIT in cross country,
Mm, wow.
and that made me, that a little bit of put a little more jelly on the jam. He's not just out there running, just keep him training for basketball. He's out there winning.
Right.
And so uh, I went to practice, and we had a coach, my JV coach, an assistant varsity coach was named Sheehy, and Coach Sheehy, he took a nip every now and then, so he be feeling good at practice all the time. And so you can smell it all over him, but we didn't care. We love Coach Sheehy.
Right, right,
And so we had a scrimmage. We had a scrimmage. That's when Wesley Cox, U of L great,
right.
went on to the Warriors when they was in Golden State, but he had an asthma problem, and that's what slowed his,
Hmm.
career down, ended his career basically. But Wesley Cox, he could touch the top of the backboard too, just like Grill.
Right.
And but he was built like Atlas, and and the team had 6'6" Lawrence Bentley, 6'8" Stanley Button. You know about the Button
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yeah. Yep.
They had we had 6'9" guy named Zach Adams, and well, Jack Croom 6'5". I mean, and there was some big boys on that team,
Mm-hmm.
and we scrimmaged them, and they said we gonna play 4 quarters, 8 minutes, and the assistant coaches was refereeing. So how seniors feel about JVs.
Yes.
Just like
Yes.
because it was JV, they were on freshmen because the school went to the ninth grade in junior high,
Mm-hmm.
but we was uh, sophomores. So it's like uh, these sloppies ain't gonna. Hey man, we gonna tear them apart. Well, you're supposed to. You got to uh, considered the third best player in the nation in Wesley Cox on
Right.
our team. And so when the game started, all the other guys was folding like envelopes. They was falling all over. You might as well just took a fan and blew it in the air, and all of them would have been up in the stands somewhere because they look like envelopes folding. And so, I played point guard. And I just told you I played with grown men in
Right.
Portland.
Right.
In my junior high years, I had a coach from Ohio State that coached me my 8th grade year. And he told me, Jonesy, you so pretty, you fall pretty. You know, you know, you know, they wasn't used to what they seen out of me. When we lived out in Newburgh, just taking it back for a minute, wasn't a whole lot of basketball goals. We had to go up in Butcher to get the
Mm.
basketball goals. I have an old stand, a wooden pole up with a goal on it somewhere.
Right.
So most of all I could do was dribble, and boy, could I dribble. I come up to him and swing that thing behind my back twice, and I'm gone. You
Right.
know, and as I went on, I didn't realize it, but I started putting it together. I realized, when you get them leaning one way, you get them leaning the other way, you take them. And I was taught by that, by other guys. But I got in that voice of the game, and I pulled them to the side. And I said, "Look here, y'all. Don't let them scare you.
Right.
I know it's Wesley Cox, and I know it was Bentley and them. And Bentley, he talked a lot of mess. He had drunk with she anyway. So, I'm like, don't let them scare you. I said, stop being scared. Let's go. So they got to playing a little bit better, but it still wasn't enough for me. I got to satisfy Walter Sweet Jones, but I wasn't Sweet Jones then. But I became Sweet Jones in that game. Uh, I started dribbling and going back. They had two guards, two starting guards. Called one of them was named Larry Bill. He had a lot of family history at Mill, and Tiny was a good shooter and left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary Cooper, who had waited his turn behind the other players, and the time we had was Coach Hutter, and he believed in the old school fashion of if you paid your dues, we're gonna let you play,
Right.
and still putting the best man on the court. You wait. You're a sophomore. You're gonna start next year. This is wait your turn.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I destroyed them. They couldn't hold me. It was one dribble gone. And
Right.
then when I got to the bucket, guess who was waiting for me? Wesley Cox. This man touches the top of the backboard. This man is an All American. But I dropped 65, and
Ooh.
how I dropped 65 was that all the rest of them were scared to shoot. So
So you didn't pass the ball.
if y'all ain't gonna shoot it, guess what? I am.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and so they went. I had about 40 in the 4 quarters,
Wow.
but I had destroyed them. Wesley them beat the backboard to death every time I go through him, cross over, go behind him, and go and use the rim for protection and drop it in and go back up. And Coach Hutter came up and said, "If don't nobody stop him, we're going 2 more quarters."
Oh wow.
So So I went back and Coach G, he's pouring it on. He's over tipsy. He's sweet. Oh, he's so sweet. He's so sweet. I can't believe it. You know. So I crossed between my leg one time and stood up like I was gonna shoot. And Wesley jumped up and I took the dribble and went around him and laid it in. And Coach he jumped up and said, "He's sweet. He's sweet. He's sweet." You know, you know, uh, uh, so after we played those 2 quarters, all of them came over to me and said, "You sweet, you sweet, you must be sweet." So after that, Cox still came up and said, "Man, you play the hell of a game, man. You don't have to worry about trying to make Russell next year. In fact, you should be on Russell now." And
Wow.
so from now they didn't call me Walter Jones. They see me in the hallway. They how first it started out a little teasing, sweet, sweet, and and then it became real when I became a junior
Mhm.
because I was turning them up and I was like still going behind my back. I had a dribble where I would dribble, twice behind my back and then fake it and take it through my legs. And I my my cousin had taught me when I was in junior high how to use my left hand. So I was ambidextrous at an early age. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I would go between my legs, right-handed, dominant, but
Mhm.
drop it to my left and dribble with my left just as well as I could with my right,
Right.
and and it really could nobody stop it. And so when I get, in junior year, they was like, it wasn't no Walter Jones. It was Sweet. Hey,
Sweet.
it just started playing it, just calling me. That was my name, Sweet. What's up, Sweet Jones? Sweet Jones, Sweet Jones. Yeah. And to the day, all my male particles and everybody know me in Shawnee Park and from the Dirt Bowl, that's what they
Uh-huh.
called me. One guy said he thought my name was Sweet. He didn't know my first name was Walter. He said, "Man, all these years I thought your first name was Sweet." Yeah. I tore a hole in Wesley Cox and Bentley and them. They destroyed the rest of them, and they beat
Right.
us. They still beat us by 40.
Right.
But they had to play them extra 2 quarters, which they didn't want to. We
Right.
had to play six. We had to play 6 quarters, and them 6 quarters I got 65.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and
Wow. That's hey. Now I feel comfortable calling you Sweet Jones. Now I feel comfortable.
yeah,
So let me ask you this though. When you was at Mel, man, you guys was going to the state championship game and, you know, won some and lost and things like this. So when you was on varsity, how was those practices? Because it was still some bad boys in the school period. Like I don't think people understand like the
yes,
athletes that who has been at Male and actually still goes to Male. Like Male has attracted athletes year in year out, pretty much. And the time you was there, that was at the epitome of basketball, like
right.
ridiculous. So how was those practices and those games? When I mean, probably don't get me wrong, it was some Shawnee had some good with Central things like this, but at Male, how was that when you was there?
I'm gonna start by saying we had enough ball players walking the hallways that could have started at any school in the state of Kentucky.
Wow.
We had at least 60 ball players that didn't make the team that could have been stars at at any of those Lexington Henry Clays and
Hmm.
Lexington Lafayette's and Ashland and all those type of schools. It might have been a harder for them to go to Shawnee and Central, but Shawnee maybe some of them could have played,
Right.
but they could have started at all those schools like Ernst. We had out of Parkland, the junior high I went to. We had 3 players go to Ernst and start. We had 3 players go to Manual and start. And
Wow.
from my junior high school, 4 of us went from Parkland to Mayo.
Hmm.
Wallace Garner, Kenneth Braxton, uh, Posthumus Lee, Victor Yarbrough, and myself.
Hmm.
And we went there saying we all gonna start. But of course that wasn't the case. But me and Wallace did because Wallace was a center. He's coming out junior high. He was 6'3.5". So
Hmm.
he's gonna get the recognition.
Right.
But Coach Houston was at Irons, and he tried to get us at Irons so bad. He bought us tennis shoes and all kind of good stuff over
Oh,
there. And
so you the first one to start this NIL. Okay.
I'm talking about I wasn't turning down nothing.
Right. Right. Bet not.
And and not only him, Coach Hunter be at Shawnee. Cause see, a lot of people from Parkland went to Shawnee too. And Coach Hunter,
Okay.
they found out I was going to Mel. It was like, how we gonna get him from Coach Hunter? Well, see, what they failed to realize, they wouldn't get me from Coach Hunter.
Right.
They had to get me from Coach Thompson.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
my reasons for going to Mel was to play basketball. But Coach Thompson is the one that he's a track and a field coach and cross country coach. And that
Okay.
was my white daddy. That was my that's the guy that took care of me. Came to my
Right.
house, made sure I got my butt up and went to school and did all the right things. So because of him, you know, he was more of a mentor than Coach Hunter, our coach used. But when we had a tryouts, you know, the ones they knew gonna be on the team, which I never had to go through that because I say I was running cross country and everybody knew I was already gonna be on the team. So you don't go through that. So
Right.
I didn't go through that rigmarole. But as I got out of cross country practice, I go in there and see, some of the guards that were stars in junior high, they was trying to make the team, the stars on their team. Friends of mine, the guy that played with me in 74, his little cousin, he got him married, little Joe and all that. But they was getting there on the names of other people.
Right.
Actually, the talent was they had good talent, but Mel just had so much talent
Right.
that if I mean, it was just hard to exceed if somebody stand out over you, because you good, but you ain't great,
Right.
and you almost had to be great to make the team.
Wow.
So, like I said, it was sort of like high school pro. You know,
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
we sold out. We sold out convention center, and they tore down the doors, and they refused to have another male central game at convention center.
Wow.
Couldn't hold them. The
Wow.
parking lots, Walnut Street was packed from First Street all the way down to Ninth Street. Gambling, the players out there playing their little 8 tracks and all that stuff. They tore the doors down to get it at a Male Central game,
Wow.
and they bet money and all that. And so basketball was that big, and uh, and that was just at Male. It was at all schools, at all the city schools
Hmm.
uh, here in Louisville and in Lexington.
Wow.
It was,
Wow.
I mean, it was hard. It was hard. I mean, it was hard to make a team, basketball wise. When like I said, it was on. State championship was on TV.
Hmm.
Uh, Wave News, Wave Channel 3 Wave carried it on Saturday and Saturday mornings and Saturday the semifinals on Saturday morning and the finals is Saturday night. And they was on the radio. Joe Dolan, he's a good friend of ours from Male. He loved to talk about Griff. He always talked about Griff, you know, shooting it from things. He's shooting it from the Watterson and all that. But the boy
So
could shoot. The boy could shoot.
so
Yeah.
so before you get into that, so what was the transition from your first coach to Coach Houston? Because you said he was at Ernst before he came to Mill. So what was that transition like?
Well, it was not good. Let's put it that way, because they, like I just radiated, they betted money on sports because it was that big. And Mel was associated with a guy that I won't call his name. He dang gone, so we won't do that. But he was one of the major people involved in sports gambling, which was illegal here. And he uh, he had everybody basically in the state that want to take a chance betting on different teams and games.
Mm.
And Mel, by being associated with Mel, they, the Bunkos family tracked him down, because he did horse racing and everything else too. And when they tracked him down, they showed that Coach Hunter and a few other the football coaches and stuff was football coach got fired, Coach Hunter got fired,
Mm.
and they all got fired because they was linked to the gambling, scandal,
Right.
and so we had to get a new coach. We boycotted school for 10 days for
Mm.
Coach Hunter. We refused to go to school. Said that your fire Coach Hunter, we ain't going to school.
Right.
'Cause and then when it died down and seen it was Coach Hunter came and told us to just leave it alone and y'all going back to school and you know he's a faithful male person and he said y'all going back to school. This is my problem
Mm.
and look forward to your next coach. So we wanted Coach Tinsley, George Tinsley, a male alumni,
Right.
and to be the coach. He was assistant coach. He was assistant JV coach that year, and he was assistant one of the long assistants on Coach Hunter's staff. So we wanted Coach Tinsley to be the coach. Born in East End, raised in male alumnus, and they came down to the two finalists was either Coach Tinsley or Coach Wade Houston. Wade Houston, he had played at U of L and both of them was well educated men. We know Wade had coached at Irons varsity for about 4 or 5 years, so he had more experience than Coach Tinsley. So, the board recommended Coach Houston.
Mm.
They called the ball players in there and we gave them, what we felt. We said, we want Coach Tinsley. And if he ain't gonna be the head coach, we still want Coach Tinsley.
Right.
So Coach Houston they went and told Coach Houston, the people from the board, you take this job, you're gonna have to take George Tinsley as your assistant. Now these kids ain't gonna play for you.
Wow.
And so Coach Tinsley he got the job, and Coach Tinsley, you know, was assistant. And it didn't take long, get acclimated with him. He was one of the greatest organizers of that I've seen. And and he knew basketball. Coach Houston knew basketball. And he one of the greatest organizers. And, Coach Tinsley, he was more of a get you out of a tight spot, coach. You
Mm.
know, they doing this and they doing that, and what we gonna do right now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so still just going by the playbook and what we see. This is what we're gonna do. Listen, y'all, this is what we're gonna do. You go this way, you go that way, and and boom, it worked.
Mm.
So it was a good pairing because Coach Houston had all the X's and O's covered, and then we had a coach that could, in the spur of a moment, create something.
Right. Right.
And so it turned out to be a good marriage between them. And after the first year we played underneath, when we lost to Central, but let me get back to that.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and rock and roll with that.
Are you gonna tell the real story? Or are you gonna leave something out?
No, this
Are,
is it.
are you gonna tell Are you gonna tell the story that I know? Or are you gonna leave something out?
For the Central, shiny Central
No,
male,
no, no. The hotel incident that caused that.
I'm gonna leave that out. That ain't gonna have no
Oh,
business.
okay, okay, yeah. Okay.
That's it. That was the championship year. I'm talking about my sophomore year when I got just told you I dropped 65 and ran by them guards. And then when Coach Houston came in, I was a junior. Well,
Hmm.
I took Larry. Cooper graduated in '73, and said
Okay.
before you had Jeff Mack, all all state, all state junior high player, and Daryl Griffith and Bobby Turner coming in there together, and they featured him. And you look on Google, you'll see their little pictures together and all that.
Yep.
They
Yep.
supposed they supposed to be the stars. They ain't saying nothing about Sweet Jones, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't take it personal. I don't take it personal. I don't wear it on my sleeve because I'm the child of Earlene and Floyd Jones. You
Right.
know, got a little Godfather in me, man. Keep your friends close and your enemies close. And,
Right.
uh, and I was like, I ain't worried about it because when it boiled down to it, it's gonna be my show, and I already knew it. And so it was like they my sophomore year, Coach Hutter let us five of us play varsity, but he had us in different uniforms. I'm sorry, bro. You talking to Sweet Jones here? I ain't gonna sit on the bench at the end of the bench with a yellow male uniform on, and y'all playing in white,
Oh no, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
you know. And if the game get uh, out of hand, I'm gonna put y'all in. No, you're not. I ain't going. I sat on the bench for one varsity game, and I wouldn't go back. I said no, 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 no. I said other things like I said it, stand in chair. But
Right.
anyway, I wouldn't go back. And so I just beat your guards down to a pulp. You should have just put me on varsity. You watched me practice every day, but you didn't because, like I said, he was an old school coach to believe in you wait your turn.
Right.
And so I did that, and they went against, All American, All State, ended up being an All American. And when he went to Oklahoma State, Ronnie Daniels and Shawnee, and a guy by the name of Wayne Golden. We didn't have 3-point shots then, and we couldn't dunk. But
Hmm.
Wayne was like Steph Curry. He stopped step across half court and let it fly. He was
Wow.
6'4". He was 6'4" with long arms, and wasn't nothing you could do with that jump shot. And when he stepped across and let it go, you better have somebody out there playing defense on him. But my brother had played against Ronnie Daniels, did guard. My brother was pretty good. My brother Larry, and he told me, he said, because I was a defensive specialist, he
Hmm.
told me, Walt, you can hold it. I said, but they ain't gonna put me in the game. And so we lost to Shawnee
Hmm.
in the state championship game that year. Ended up getting touched pretty good at the end. And sophomore, my junior year, like I said, Larry Bill came back. He's supposed to be the point guard. I took his spot. Then the guy tripped me and fractured my ankle. Actually, he broke my ankle.
Wow.
But I told Dr. Ellis, who was one of the main doctors in the Louisville sports uh,
Hmm.
at that time. I told Dr. Rudy Ellis that don't tell him my ankle is broke, please. Just tell him it's fractured. And so he told me it was bad fracture. So that's the information he got from the doctor. So when my ankle started to heal up, and I still couldn't turn because you know how it is. If it's messed up, you can't turn. I
Right.
was flying up and down the court, but when it come to turn, I started to look like a temptation. I look like the temptation from the turn, whoop, whoop, whoop. Like he, he and he hollered, sweet, sweet, sweet. You can turn, you can run like that. You can turn. Man, you don't know my ankles, doctor. The fall from my feet. You gonna leave me the fuck alone? Man, this shit hurts. But I'm out here doing it. And so he ended up giving Larry his spot back, and then I got it back in the middle of the season, close to Christmas, the Christmas tournament in Ashland, and I got the spot back, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna win this championship this year. And we was playing in the Ashland Christmas tournament, and Mr. Basketball, who became Mr. Basketball that year, which he shouldn't have been, should have been the guy out of Central named Falon Cook, who I played junior high with for a little while too, before he went to Duval. But this dude, Dom Fusi, got was won Mr. Basketball. He was turned a hole in Griff and Bobby. They put
Ooh.
Griff on him first. He's 6'4". Bobby 6'4", Daryl 6'3".
Right.
But he was too fast for Daryl because Daryl was slew-footed and a little slower checking people. He could run and jump high, but his footwork wasn't good enough to stay in front of this white boy, and he was taking it. Then he took Bobby because he's just quicker than Bobby.
Right.
So we had a trainer named Willie Carter who went to Mill and played for the Cleveland Browns. And big fat guy, he eat all the time. I used to go get his food for him all the time. And he told he, he told Coach Hunter he told Coach Houston said he talked like that. Put sweet on his ass. Put sweet on his ass. And Coach Houston said, well, he's a forward. He's 6'4". I don't give a shit. Put sweet on his ass. And Coach Houston said, Sweet, you think Sweet, you want to try him? I said, man, give him to me. What y'all talking about? This is what I do. Give him to me. Willie said, tear his ass up. Tear his ass up. They had us about that. They had us by we're number one in the state now. They got us by 8 going into the second quarter. I went out there and I uh, started checking him, and I didn't let him touch the ball for like 6 or 7 trips up and down the court. I said, not touch it. And it's funny, but it ain't funny because it wasn't funny to him.
I know it
He
wasn't.
was he was all American. He tried everything. He's holding me, ref. He grabbed me. I said, I always walked over to the referee and said, tell him, just I play close, but I don't touch. I'm like guy out of the movie Penitentiary. I'm seldom Sam. I seldom touch. You know, you ain't getting this.
Right.
So referees looking closely. They say he ain't touching you. He ain't touching me. I didn't belly up. I just come over and get close to him. He couldn't
Hmm.
go to him. I was too fast. Every time he tried to dribble one way, I tried to dribble the other way. But the first thing was that I would be on him so tight they couldn't pass it to him. They threw 3, 4 passes. I stole it through it down court, and Daryl couldn't dunk. But if he could dunk, boy, it would have been ugly. But we always had a thing where we jack it back behind our head and then lay it in the rim. I
Uh-huh.
didn't because I was jumping high, but they did. And so after about 10 plays, we was up by about 12, and went back over the sideline, and coach just said, "You want to go back? Uh, you want to go back to checking your man?" I said, "Yeah," because I went to basketball camp, and a few guys I played with in basketball camp. I wanted to check them because we had good time in basketball camp. And they was guards, and one of the guards was played for that team. And I said, "Yeah." He said, uh, "Coach," you said, "Well, what about Fusi?" I said, "He done." He cooked. He served him up. You can serve him up. He had lost all his confidence, and he did. He couldn't score no more. But we went on through the season, and Coach Houston was so hard on me that if I made one turnover, he would pull me out of the game. I
Wow.
mean, one. But I didn't. Like I said, I respect elders, and I ain't make no fuss about it. He took me out of the game, out of town one day, and one night, and we all was driving in vans, the starters, and always riding one van with the coaches, with the head coaches, Coach Dinley and Wade Hughes, and he took me out after one turnover, and Jeff Mack said, "Man, everybody on the bus was like, man, that was wrong what he did to you, man. Dang, one turnover, he took you out the game, and then put you back in." He was trying to make me realize, that every turnover counted. We know we're gonna win the game, which we did, about 20, 25. But he was trying to install that in me,
Hmm.
But who can't make a turnover, And so, we just call him the rabbit because he stuttered, and had that little buggy teeth. So Van was quiet. Van was quiet because they knew I was mad, and then everybody trying to console me like, "Sweet Van, mother," so yeah, he did you wrong. He did you wrong. I said, I said, I said, hey y'all, don't worry about it. I'll get that wabbit. It would take me all year. He heard me. He heard me because I said it loud enough for him to hear me. I said, I'll get that wabbit. It would take me all year. You know,
Heck no. Heck
but,
no.
we went on to go to the finals, and he didn't put me. When we played against Central, he didn't put me in. He played Larry Bill. He didn't put me in. He didn't put my buddy Vicky in. Was one six man.
Right.
Was a six-man guard. He didn't put him in. He didn't put Brack in. He didn't put Wallace. He put Wallace in for 2 minutes and pulled him back out. And he played none of us, and we lost to Central in the state championship. And Durrell was petrified of Central because he played at Duval.
Mm.
And the guys that played at Duval was bullies. They had the Jets. They had Southwick and Collarhome, if y'all can
Right.
remember Southwick and Collarhome.
Right.
And that's how Fenor got to Central because he lived in Southwick. He played at Parkland with us. They told him if he stayed at Parkland and came home every day to Southwick, they gonna beat him up. So
Wow.
he told me I got to go to Duval. I'm gonna get beat up every day I come home from school. So I said, "You going over it, man? I don't want you, getting your head stumped in over basketball." But
Right.
that's how serious basketball was. But so we lost Shawnee because of uh, just the way he coached, and we lost to Central because of lack of trust.
Right.
And so my senior year was like, I started, I'm the star. I'm starting from the get go. And I said, this is mine. We done lost 2 times in a row. And
How many? Let me ask you this real quick. Going to your senior year, like I said, you guys have lost, and the senior year is totally different. Everybody know eventually y'all became the champions. How many games did y'all lose that season?
2,
Only two. Who did y'all lose to?
Central and Bryan Station.
Okay. Was that like pretty much?
Bryan Station was my fault, and Dino why. He'll tell you afterwards.
Who is D?
Yes, that's the
Oh,
man. That's the man.
look, get the inside scoop from him later on.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
you gonna love this story.
okay. So wait a minute, real quick. So 2 losses. You starting. All this kind of stuff. So in the back of your mind, did y'all already feel that, hey man, we got this. We just got to show up and play our game.
It wasn't even challenged. I'm not a cocky person, because I'm serious when I'm out there. I
Right.
treat every opponent the same. I never believed that. Oh, I know we're gonna beat them, even though I knew we was gonna beat them. But I
Right.
never played. I never played with that attitude. I did what was supposed to be done, and until we got up enough where the other players could come in, and then you knew the game was over with, you know. But we knew was only going to be challenged twice,
Hmm.
you know, really challenged. But we got challenged more than twice. We got challenged about 4 times. We
Right.
got challenged at Lafayette, and we got challenged at Covenant Catholic. Then at Covenant Catholic, that was a game for the ages.
Mm.
We went in there knowing we gonna beat Covenant Catholic. That Covenant Catholic, you know, why did y'all even bring us up here?
Right. Right.
Because it was all about the dollar. They paid us to come up here. So we get up to Covenant Catholic and we ain't thinking. We just waiting to get out of here. Halftime, we down by 15. The Wabbit is mad. The, the Wabbit is really mad. No, because he was peeved, and So and I said, well, I told her it's time to go to work, man. It's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. So we went out there. We said we're gonna hit them. We're gonna hit them with a press. We wasn't pressing them. We was just playing regular defense, and we played a little 3/4 court press and all that, and let them shoot. And they white balls was knocking them down from everywhere. So we went to the second half, and I'm like, this time to be laying them up, and so he installed me and my buddy Vic Yarbrough into the game, which he's a defensive specialist like me. He had long arms, and I had the quickness, and so we stole the ball about 5, 6 times and cut the lead down. But but we wasn't cutting the lead down. Griff was cutting the lead down. We steal the ball and give the ball to Griff. He started out shooting from the top of the circle. Gave him to him the next time. He's 3 feet beyond the top of the circle.
Wow.
Gave to him the next time. He was a step back farther. All of them. That's all you could hear. It sounded like wind. The ball clearing that net. I said, this brother is on fire. And, he came down and he shot one from 3/4 court. I hollered, no, Griff. He shot it, went straight through. And Coach used to, leave it alone, sweet. Leave it alone. I left him alone. And, yeah, he shot us back in there. We stole the ball, but he shot us back, man. I wish we had film of that game. That boy, I ain't never seen nobody shoot like that. Uh, when the chips was on the
Right.
table.
Wow.
So we came back and beat Cumberland Catholic. But I figured we might lose to Central. We shouldn't have lost to Bryan Station. Like I said, that was my fault. But other than that, we knew, you know,
I can't wait to tell
I
that story.
didn't, I didn't, I didn't play at Bryan Station. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Let's just say I can't wait.
I kind of figured that you might have been missing from that one. I don't know. I don't know what gave it away, but I kind of figured you might have been missing from that game.
I can't wait to tell you that
I
story,
let,
Will.
yeah, let fun get in the way. But we knew that. And so when we got in the tournament, it was like uh, Warren, uh, Warren County had a set of brothers. One had graduated, and the other one was still there. And he was like, these this little dude. He was like 5'9". He was almost touched the top of the backboard. And they was talking stuff like,
Ooh.
"Well, this is gonna be a challenge for Mel because they got seniors later too, and they got I can't think of the other guy's name now, but his brother played the year before, and it's like they gonna do this and they gonna do that and they gonna make a challenge for Mel. Okay, we'll see. So one thing bad about it, you know, they should have never let us watch news, before we go to bed. I think they did that on purpose. Let us see the news before lights was out to hear what they were saying, good or bad.
Right.
You know, but there's always somebody wanting you to fall. So I'm like, man, let's just put them away in the first half. Yeah, let everybody else play. You know, they all looked at me. I said, my main boy, Jeff Mack. You know, I looked at Jeff, and he had got hurt in Richmond County the same weekend. I had to go home. Uh, 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 he had hurt his knee, and so he was just coming back a little bit. He wasn't fully back. And we played Richmond County and Bryan Station both that weekend, the last weekend of the year, last weekend of the year. And but he got his little strength back in his knee and stuff, and he was playing. And I looked at Jeff and I said, if you can't go, Willie can go. There's a guy on the team named Willie Hendricks, and he was 6'4" beast out of Beecher Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
We call him Whammo. He could shoot, he could dribble, and you tell him in a minute, he had a heck of a voice too. Oh, what are they playing me for? You know they need to play me. And so when they told him, said Jeff went out there and tried to play one series, and he couldn't go. They said, "Willie, you in the game?" I said, "Come on, Willie, let's roll, baby." But we put about, I don't know what we put on them. I know they didn't have like 20, 15, 20 points, and we had about 45 or something. That was first half. And so
Wow.
we started the third quarter, and we tagged them again with like a 15-0 run. And I put my hand up and said, "What you gonna do?" And coach was like, "Y'all come on out." So we didn't exactly put them away the first half, but we did basically. But
Right.
just about two minutes into the third quarter, it was all done. Now you can take one count and go on back to Bowling Green, and you know, go on and stay the rest of the night and enjoy Louisville. Then go on back to Cotton Field or whatever you got up there. But down there. But anyway, uh, then we had that was the quarterfinals. Then we had uh, Henry Clay beat Central
Hmm.
in the semifinals, and so in the semifinals, we was like we watched Central lose. We said we can't lose.
Right.
Ain't no way, no Louisville school can be in here. So uh, we tagged them. You know, uh,
Oh, oh yes. I watched the game. It's on YouTube. I've seen that
yeah,
game.
and they I was 50% free throw shooter during the semifinal and final game. I think I missed two free throws. That's how concentrated we was,
Right.
and I should have went way better because I penetrated and went, guard that penetrated and went to the basket. So
Right.
but my free throw shooting should have been a lot better. But yeah, we put them away, and then I was so mad because Central just beat us a year before, and we wanted Central so bad.
Yeah.
You know, they had,
Right.
we was more upset when they lost than they were because I'm serious. I'm serious. We wanted that patas.
Right.
We
Right.
wanted to
Right.
tag that patas. You know, you know, and we knew we was a lot better, and we knew we was gonna beat them.
Right.
Because the two guys that beat us in '74 was gone. They was bad boys, Carlos Hampton and I can't think of the guy's name. I see him over there at the food market. But anyway, that was their stars. And so Fernald Cook was there, and a few other guys I played junior high with. But and then Daryl Yarbrough, which was my friend Victor Yarbrough's half brother. They were their stars, but they wasn't enough.
Right.
And we knew we was going to tag it. And that's how they lost to Henry Clay because they didn't have no real defensive players,
Right.
on
Right.
and it takes defense to win championships. So they
That's
really didn't
right.
have a whole lot of defensive players. So we knew we was going to take them. Our team was built around defense,
Right.
and so we got to Henry Clay, and it was like, well, Henry Clay's got this, he got that, and they got this. Out of Lexington, Henry Clay was like Central Mill and Lexington. You know what I'm saying? Clay and I'm going to school down there at Kentucky Business School, playing down there for a while after I came back from Mexico.
Hmm.
But they uh they had all these accolades for Henry Clay because they just wanted Mel to lose.
Right.
We done been championship 73, 74. We won it in 70 and 71.
Right. Right.
We didn't go in 72, but we went back in 73. We went back in 74. And here it is 75, and here these man purple uniforms are back. Purple and gold uniforms are back again. Man, we about sick of y'all. We were like Jordan era, like get
Right.
somebody to stop these.
Right.
you know.
Right.
So went out there. Henry Clay, they gave a little fight for a minute, but in the end, because the guard that I checked, he ended up going to Tucker Business College with us too, because he's from Lexington.
Okay.
And he told me when we got to Lexington, he said, "Man, they told when I seen you come over and stand beside me, and I knew you was gonna check me." He said, "I ain't want to say nothing, man." He said, "But I knew my night was gonna be bad."
Ah,
The word already got out what I did to Don Fusi.
right,
So it was
right,
like,
right,
and when they look at tape, when they show him the tape, he's everywhere.
right, right,
When I say everywhere, I mean I go from this side to that side so fast, so quick that how to get over here, you know. And I had whenever they put our defensive team in was which was the guys I went to Parkland with, uh, Kenneth Braxton, Victor Yarbrough, and me, and our center. While I was going to, he wasn't the center because a guy named Kevin Anderson that came up from the ranks and took that spot, and they put Big Red in. We call him Big Red, big light skinned bad boy. When they put Big Red in there in the back, and we put that press on, you was pretty much done. You
right,
know, it was done. Then they put Bobby and Daryl them back in to close the deal.
right.
But our team was built on defense, and so they put us in for a minute. It was over. It was
Hey,
over.
what was up with the winning lap? After you guys won, y'all did about a couple of laps around the. Right, right. I thought y'all was
We
great
did.
knock. I thought y'all was great knock Lexington. Henry Clay up out of the picture. Y'all just kept running and running. I said, okay. They said victory lap.
Yeah, yeah, we used to run. That was something we did every week. We didn't do it after the game, but we did it before the game. And
Okay.
that was an old school intimidation move.
Okay.
You know, you already know there's a good team. Then you come out and run around the gym, run
Right.
around like at their gym. You know, we'd be at somebody else's gym and we'd run all the way around. And guess what some of them dummies would do at the other schools? They stand up and clap for us. I'm serious. I'm like, "Man, we could play against y'all, dude." But they stand up and clap for us. I'm like, okay, that's how y'all feel about it. You know, but they knew it was something. And asking
uh,
for, give me five, and asking for handshakes and autographs and griff and everything. And, and game ain't even started. And they
wow.
like,
Already
they
done.
like, yeah, yeah. It's like, you gonna take it through your legs? You know, yeah, look, boy, I'm gonna take it through my legs.
Hey, 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 the mayor. We gotta wrap this up. So, anything you want to ask your pops, man, before we
Hey,
wrap this
Daddy,
up?
quick question before we wrap this up. What point guard reminds you of yourself that's playing in today's NBA?
Uh, in today's NBA, based on defense, and I would have to say maybe uh, what is the glove son,
Gary Payton Jr. I mean the second.
Gary Payton. Gary Payton, yeah, because he's pretty good on offense, but he's dominant on defense. But my game was based passing and playing defense. So I always say Magic Johnson was my big little brother.
And
Right.
one more thing,
Go ahead.
build me your top five. Give me your build your team. Your top five. Give me your team. Walter Sweet Jones all time team.
NBA,
Whoever.
but NBA, uh, NBA, I would say you got to have Jordan, and you'd have to have Steph Curry, and you'd have to have LeBron James. Uh, it's a toss up between Kareem and Shaq, but
Right.
I would take Kareem because I'm from that area,
Right.
and then you wouldn't believe it,
Give it to us.
you wouldn't believe it, but I would take James Worthy.
Ooh, wee.
Ooh,
We
wee.
went, okay.
Now, give me your top five that you played with.
Uh, I would say Wesley Cox, Daryl Griffith, Bobby Turner, and Big Red Anderson, and Jeff Mack.
Nice, nice, nice. Let's go on. Hey, I'll tell you what. Let's go on and end on that note. I want to thank you, Sweet Jones, for
There
joining
you go.
us tonight. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate, uh, what you have done along with your teammates and all the other Bulldogs that have became before me. And I really enjoy this show because anytime you can sit back and just listen to the stories and things that happened before you is a blessing. That's why I wear the mail so proudly today
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
of the legacy is real. People don't understand how much pride, how much for the H that's really there. The brotherhood is really true, like what you got on. The
Yeah.
brotherhood is really true. You see that purple H on my
Yes,
hat?
sir.
That's why the Mark Real Show has got that purple
Yeah,
H.
yeah,
I
yeah.
people don't understand, man, and it's irreplaceable, man, and that's why, when the mayor, your son, said, "Hey, we gotta have Pops on here," talk about that was a done deal, and I really appreciate the mayor for all he does for the show, and he's family, he's a part of the Mark and Will show and everything. But this is the best thing he's given us to this day, man, and really thank you for joining us, and it's a blessing to be able to talk to you this evening.
Thanks for having me. I'm ecstatic when he told me that he's gonna have me on there because I love to talk history, basketball history, sports history in general. But
Right.
it's always good to talk to a fellow
That's right. That's
bulldog.
right, baby. That's right. For the H, for the H. On that note, hey, we out of here, guys. We see y'all later.
All righty.
That, Daddy, don't hang up, Daddy. Don't hang up. Just stay
Peace.
on real quick.
All right.
Mark and Will. Yeah. What you know about them Bulldogs and them Panthers? Legacy. That's right. Legacy. That's right. Legacy. That's right. Legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Mel and PIP's in on this legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.